So I'm halfway through volume 11, The Husky and the White Cat. Spoiler talk time. First, can we just appreciate how pretty this cover is? Like, oh my god, look at Chu Wanning and Moran. They are so cute and happy together. My favorite thing about this book, obviously, has to be this though. Look at them. Look how happy and pretty they look. Oh, it's so great. I'm trying not to like break the spine because so far I've done a good job. So this is just like 3 novellas essentially. Well, one of these are like extremely short. Like I tabbed the difference between the stories. The first story is essentially our boy Phoenix going on a bunch of blind dates because someone from the Taobao estate has created essentially online dating. Someone has made a scroll where you input your likes, your dislikes, the reason why you're single, and essentially is trying to match you up with like people who hopefully will fit. There's something in this that I commend, but also think that they didn't think very straight when they said this. So the creator of the dating scroll essentially has rules, okay? And it's basically like when you go on your dates and stuff like that, because you can message each other on the scrolls, you have to wear a disguise. So you don't know the voice or the gender or what they look like specifically, because they want you to fall in love with your soulmate, literally. I commend the creator of the scroll for doing something like that. However, our boy Phoenix, not really into men. Because like they all try to help on Phoenix because like, you're the sect leader now, you need to have a wife, you need to settle down, you need to have a kid. We all know from volume 10 that he eventually does adopt a kid. He doesn't end up getting married or anything. This is like, I guess could be what if or not. I don't really know the timeline specifically. It's just really funny to me because when he starts filling in the information saying how he's never had a crush on people, he's never been confessed, he's never had a heartbroken type situation, the scroll just straight up ask him, are you ugly? He gets really mad about that, obviously. He has like a list of people that would hopefully fit his requirements. It was a lot of requirements, okay? I'll tell you later. He sees one, all right? And he's like, oh, this girl reminds me of my mother. And I'm like, oh no, honey. You are a mama's boy and a daddy's boy. You have parental trauma, okay? Like the way his parents died, yeah, that was completely tragic. But he's like, if I'm gonna marry someone, I would like it to be like someone like my mom. And I'm just like, no, please don't. He sets up a date with this girl and he like, it reads as very hoity-toity. I'm more successful than you. I don't need money because I make my own money. And you find out why. When he meets her, she's very pretty. She also looks really mean. Like, so he kind of wants to knock her down a peg. Throughout this entire part of the book, we find out just how innocent Phoenix's parents has kept him at the age of 20 something. Like he's almost 30, okay? And that's why they're hopping on him. He's like, you should get married. And he's like, my Shizun didn't get married. My cousin didn't get married. Sure. He's trying to impress his date by being rich and stuff like that. It doesn't really work because she's like, I don't really care. This place is crowded as hell because everyone's trying to impress their date because it's so expensive. Even though Phoenix is like, I paid for a private room, but it's like not really private. It's bullshit. I'm literally, my wallet is hurting. So they go off to go sightseeing a little bit, maybe go to a store. There was a store that Phoenix's mom told him to never go in. When he was younger, makes sense. Now as like 20-something-year-old, he tries to impress his date by being like, I can go to this endless night place. He doesn't know what it's for. His date, however, does. She's a heavenly VIP. Weird, but okay. There's this dude trying to sell, what do I say? Cucumbers. Okay, cucumbers. All varying in sizes from the top 10 of, you know, the list. The top 2 being Chu Wanning and Moran. Phoenix doesn't really know what it means. So he brags to the shopkeeper about how he wants 20 of them. And both his date and the shopkeeper are like, what the you can't handle 20. He's like, I can handle 100. Jesus Christ, Phoenix. His date was like, you know what, how about just buy you one? Just one. You look like you'd only want one. And he's like, no. He's like, and then he takes it and then it turns into a toy that is cucumber shape. He's very, very upset. And then the disguises fall off because his date realizes, oh my god, you're fiends. What are you doing here? Turns out his date also was his bio dad Jiangxing. Why he's doing this? They said that they're not interested in dating. So why are you doing this though? It's still very weird. Not only is that embarrassing for Phoenix, it leads to rumors. Okay, it leads to rumors. This is part 1. All right. So that date was shit. He's like, you know what? Hopefully the next option is better. His next blind date is with someone who feels bad for her because she has been hurt by her lover, and she's very blunt. And throughout this, I was like, okay, well, Zhang gave it away because of his personality. Like the instant his character started talking, I was like, oh my god, don't tell me that's his dad, his bio dad, his bullshit bio dad. And lo and behold, it was. Because I was trying to actually think about the women in the series to be like, who would actually be desperate enough to be on here? Surprisingly enough, I was like, Moran would never do this thing. Like, he's happy with Chu Wanning. Sure, they have like a two-body situation with the Emperor and Moran, but like, it's whatever. You see that? So the Emperor, yes, the Emperor, not Moran, the Emperor, got jealous of something that Chu Wanning did. Like, he made him a little pouch that he inscribed himself and gave it to Chu Wanning. Moran did the same thing, but it wasn't as nice looking as the Emperor's version. But Chu Wanning kept Moran's and hid away the Emperor's one, although he said that he lost it. So this made the Emperor jealous of Moran, who still is technically himself, but in a different, like, technically they're all just one soul because the Demon King had to like merge their souls together, so they're technically still one person, but like whatever. He has a split personality. And disguised as a woman starts ranting about the relationship to Phoenix, not knowing that it's Phoenix because they're still wearing the disguises and stuff like that. And he discusses Moran and Chu Wanning's escapades in the bedroom. Safe to say, Phoenix has been scarred for life. Eventually, he finds out that it's Moran. No, not Moran, but the Emperor. Because Chu Wanning comes into the restaurant and starts to scold the Emperor, being like, what are you doing? Come home. And he's like, no, you like him better than me because he's so soft and weak, and you don't like my attention because I'm so aggressive. And I'm just like, oh my god. They have to stay the night because Phoenix and the Emperor started fighting because he found out, oh my god, what are you doing? Why is my cousin being this embarrassing? How dare you? They break the restaurant / inn a bit because they fight and they're guys. And Chu Wanning's like, we're gonna fix everything because it's about to rain, so we need to fix the roof. So somehow they broke the roof. I don't know how, they just did. The Emperor decides to get drunk because he wants to be moody and grumpy and be like, I don't want to go to bed. So Chu Wanning ends up going to bed and blows out the candle, and that makes the Emperor even more upset. So he doesn't even want to come talk to me. So he gets wasted. Phoenix is in his room ignoring this whole thing. And then Chu Wanning and the Emperor kind of have like a little moment, and that's when we realize that Chu Wanning didn't throw away the pouch, he just hid it because the Emperor decided to write indecent things on the pouch. Chu Wanning would never use it, but he still kept it. He later on carries the Emperor to their room. I don't think they asked for 3 rooms. I think they asked for 2 because it was kind of a given that Chu Wanning and the Emperor were going to share a room, because again, the Emperor got wasted and then passed out drunk after they had like a little talkie moment, and Chu Wanning carried him to their room so that they could sleep it off. He still probably got scolded. It's pretty funny how the Emperor was like, I was gone and this hussy came in. I was like, you were dead. What do you mean? Your memories were in another body, you know. You were a reanimated corpse. You should not have been involved. But we're not getting into that because look at the other videos. My god, 10 books of story. You would think after this that our boy Phoenix would just stop getting on the scroll. No. So after this situation, it gets worse just a little bit. The morning time, Moran is in charge of his body again. You know, he's trying to apologize to his cousin and everything. And remember how I said the rumor started because of Zhang and Phoenix being seen together? Moran now assumes that his cousin has the same taste as Moran, because he says, you know what, Zhang and Chu Wanning, they have like the same perky personalities. Although I'm surprised you would date someone so old, because Zhang is actually really old. He only looks young because he disguises his appearance with a spell. I mean, he's not interested in sleeping with people. Again, though, I'm very curious as to why he's a heavenly VIP of that store, but he's a douche. I don't care about him. Phoenix, during this conversation, is like, oh my god, he found out that he's my bio dad. I can't have anyone find out I'm related to that asshole. So at the end, the two of them are like pinky promising each other that they wouldn't say a thing. Moran's like, it's okay, I won't tell him that you're sleeping with him. And Phoenix is like, you won't tell him that he's my fucking dad. This book is just like up and down with what the fucks. It's hilarious. I love it. Then we move on to the story. You know, I'm not actually done with his part of it yet, but he starts leaving bad reviews for the scroll because of the date situation. Because after those two, he had a list of 11 potential partners, and the first 2 was his bio dad and his cousin. Okay, but neither one of them actually wanted to date him. They were just, I don't know, I think they were doing research, or well, Emperor was using it to make Chu Wanning jealous. So the next 9 dates, he was too picky. He's like, nope, 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 nope. He had a problem with everything. One of the dates only wanted to have Moran and Chu Wanning's kids, and that was just weird. And he's like, why are you even on this date? And she's like, He's like, then why did you go ask him and offer yourself? And she said, I tried, but then Moran kicked me off the mountain. And I was like, definitely the Emperor kicked you off the mountain, because how dare you even offer? I think the Emperor actually did mention at one point that he was trying to find out how to get Chu Wanning pregnant, though. Okay, now our next A little adventure in this book is, I forgot to mention, the twins are also in this book. We get to actually see how the twins met Phoenix and why certain things happened the way they did. So after leaving a bunch of reviews, the master of the Taobao estate was like, okay, we need to go get him to apologize because my product made you upset and you're leaving bad reviews. I can't have that. So they sent someone from the Smile Brigade to make him feel better, to hopefully take down the reviews. No one on the actual Smile team wants to do it because they know Phoenix's temperament and they're like, he's scary. So one of the girls was also using the scroll and was talking to someone, and the person said, oh, I'll do it for you. And the girl was like, oh, would you really? Thanks. Didn't even question it, just off you go. We introduced to Miss S, who wants to just make, you know, Phoenix happy and everything. Everyone at Shenqing Peak thinks that, oh, Miss S definitely has the hots for Phoenix. And Phoenix actually kind of feels a little flattered because, oh my God, this is actually the first girl his age that's actually maybe shown him appreciation. It doesn't really say that he likes her, because once you get up to the point of actually talking to her, which, by the way, one of the twins is freaking the fuck out because he's like, I cannot accept a confession from you because no thanks. So they were debating whether or not saying I'm going to die from maternal illness or that they're a lesbian. Bro did not want that. So before he could even decide, Phoenix gets the courage to finally ask, how did you learn how to rub Veggie Bun's belly? Veggie Bun being his mom's cat. One of the twins is like, I'm sorry? You want to learn how to rub the cat's belly? We all know the cats notoriously hate belly rubs unless you teach them how to get used to it. And he's like, yes, but also, how do you make those disciples not fight each other? Because sometimes I don't want to deal with it. And how do you better run the site? Like, he just wants information about everything else because, like, Miss S reminds him of Phoenix's mother. That's all he really cares about. I'm sorry. This surprise, this twin, because he's like, how pure can you be? Jeez Louise. There's a reason why one of them likes to mess. Well, technically they both like to mess with him, but they also really care about him because when they first met, the twins, when they're like really younger, they're still very pretty. So sometimes you could mistake the twins for girls, and they were still like switching places, which is why I just refer to them as the twins, because you have the grumpy one and then you have the flirtatious one. So the flirtatious one was like, you know what? I want to go to a hot spring and wash because I'm, and they're foreigners, so they don't really speak Mandarin very well. So they find the hot spring. Unfortunately, young Shimei and Phoenix are in there. And because of the twins' appearance, they assume that this is just another girl trying to peep on them in the bath, because at this point, Chu Wanning was also getting peeped on by a bunch of girls. So Phoenix was like, oh my God, get this peeping Tom. And like, they took him to like the hall to repent for the mistakes. They also threw girls' clothes at him because his actual clothes got left behind and he got a little bit muddied, and Phoenix just assumed he was a girl and just threw girls' clothes at him. The twin took this as an offense. He's like, I'm gonna break his ass. The twins are very favored by their sect leader, which makes the other disciples really mad. So this comes into play because the twins do a little switch off before everyone wakes up because it was time to share. And of course, the other one is like, oh my God, why is it every time we switch places, you've done something? You either flirt too much or piss somebody off and I'm stuck dealing with it. He's like, whatever. They switch clothes. So now he's in the girls' clothes and he's just sitting there. Then he gets punished to go clean the library. He's like, and then the disciples hear that he's being punished and they're like, that's what you get. Then they go to bully him. And he's like, he wants to kick their ass, but there's like a lot of them. And at that point in time, Phoenix shows up and beats up the bullies and chases them away. So now that twin is like, oh my God, this is like someone who saved me. And then he finds out who he is. He's like, oh my God, you're the person that put my brother and I in the situation. So the twins meet up again later on. They get their dictionary for Mandarin so that they can learn the words and be like, oh yeah, that's why this was okay. So they look at each other like, are we still gonna beat him up? And he's like, maybe not. And then the other one's like, can we play with him? As in tease him and make him frustrated and just like mess with him. And they both agreed to do that. I want to show you, look at the babies. Look at baby Phoenix and the twins. They're so cute. During this little section of it, we find out that the scroll, because of all the, interactions that I was receiving with people, it cultivated a human body that could specifically shapeshift. It mostly took form of like personalities of the flirtatious twin. So basically a player, and the pickiness of our boy Phoenix. So they get called to the Taobao estate and they go to see what's going on, and they see a crowd of people. All right. And when you hear what they're saying, it's like, return our daughter's esteem. It's like all these girls and stuff like that who have made contact with the spirit have their personality switched, their self-esteem completely gone, and it's an entire mess. So the twins and Phoenix go in there to see like the master of the estate, and they're like, okay, where is he? What is going on? The disciples said, that's him. He turned into a butterfly. We see a bee. They're like, what? He's not a butterfly. He's a bee. Even though one of the elders like, no, he's a beautiful, beautiful butterfly. They're like, this man is old, is blind as hell. And during this situation, Zhang comes in because, you know, medical sect. They're trying to see if they can reverse the curse. When Zhang sees the bee, he gets annoyed by it because it starts to buzz and stuff like that. And he demands that someone just kill the pest. And one of his disciples was going to do it, and they had to be like, no, don't stop. That actually is the Taobao estate master. He got cursed and turned into a bee because he made contact with the spirit, because he tried to seduce the spirit. But when the spirit saw the master, even in disguise, he threw up. I mean, like, yeah, I'm not surprised. He did. He's not very appealing. Zhang was like, fine, I'll take care of it. I'll just destroy the damn thing. Turns out, if you destroy the scroll, it'll just self-destruct, and everyone's secret that interacted with the scroll, and it's a very popular item, will just get released everywhere. And remember, Zhang also used the scroll. This is what one of the elders was trying to say, like, bro, if you break that shit, all your secrets are gonna go out too. So don't do that. It was pretty embarrassing for him. These are some of the questions that was asked to Zhang. Are you in love with anyone? Why not? Do you have any children? Why? Was it an unplanned pregnancy? Technically he does have a kid. If you don't like kids, why did you go through with having the child? Did your husband abandon you? Apparently, Zhang started cursing at the scroll, and the scroll was like, no need to use that kind of language. The scroll is only trying to express its love and care for you. Considering your situation, we recommend another Taobao estate product, Golden Jubilee, every week. This device will introduce single mothers like yourself to 3 to 5 accomplished yet lonely cultivators. We hope you will soon find yourself in a happy second marriage. The first relationship wasn't even happy. It wasn't even a relationship. So Zhang like, I can't let anyone hear this, because it's mostly he can't let anyone know that Phoenix is his son. That is a secret he's gonna keep to the grave. And even Phoenix was like, don't you ever dare tell anyone I'm related to you. I don't even call you dad. My dad is actually dead. So sad as it may be. He's like, fine, I'll disguise myself as a woman because I am actually pretty, and we'll just deal with that. They were going to have Phoenix do it at first because the twins were like, yeah, we can make him look like a woman. It's fine. Zhang was like, hell no, I'll just do it. The way this man cross-dressed, it's a good thing that he's rich. Put on like a white jade bracelet, and then he wrote himself a doctor's note stating, this person is indeed female. And then he signed his own name. I mean, granted, the trap didn't work anyway because the scroll decided to use his face at the time to meet the date. Because, you know, Zhang is really good looking. So the scroll had tended to use his face a lot. This is why I said he shapeshifts. And it led to a lot of problems for him because he's getting a bunch of women claiming that he promised to marry them. And he's like, fuck that. The minute the scroll enters the room, Zhang just tries to kill him. And they're like, oh my god, don't destroy the scroll. The secrets will all be let out. That plan didn't work. And he got turned into a bird of some kind between the mix of a phoenix and a peacock and something else. And at that point, he's like, I quit. I'm going home. So that leaves us with the twins and Phoenix. And they're like, okay, so he took the personality of the twins, which honestly is just terrible, narcissistic. And the twins are looking at him and was like, first of all, the thing took our flirting skills. Your pickiness is from you. But they're not going to mention it. They're just like, okay. So then everyone's like, look, Phoenix, just tell us what you are interested in, and then maybe we can craft a trap, you know, honey trap it. So for the next couple of hours, he starts to list over 300 things that he would like in a partner. It would have been longer, except one of the twins had told him just to shut up at one point. They're like, this is too much. It's ridiculous. Even one of the girls were like, oh my god, you're so picky. He would have gone on long. And I was like, I would have said like, bro, just find someone that reminds him of his mother. That's it. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know what they're planning to do next, but the story is almost done, I'm pretty sure. This much left of Phoenix's little dating escapade, and then I have like a short little thing, which is like a bunch of emails, so that won't even take me that long. But I like how lighthearted it is. It's goofy as hell. It is very much goofy, but I love this. I love this. I'm still surprised that the Emperor was actually willing to go on this stupid ass thing. But like I said, our boy Phoenix is going through it, so he's never gonna get married. Let's just leave the boy live. He adopts an orphan. There you go. Hair taken care of. Like, come on. Anyway, until next time, bye. Finish volume 11. Spoiler talk time. As you can hopefully see, it's obviously I tabbed. I love this book. This book was so cute and adorable. I loved it. Finished Phoenix's little online dating situation. Boy is never gonna get married. They bring in Chu Wanning eventually to like help with the scroll and stuff like that. And, you know, Chu Wanning asks Phoenix, hey, tell me what you look for in, you know, a future wife. Phoenix doesn't want to be seen as not worthy of his teacher, okay? So he lies to Chu Wanning, even though everyone at this point knows that this boy has 300 plus requirements for a future partner. And some of that stuff really just rubs people the wrong way. The scroll calls Chu Wanning dirtier than a dog, worse than a dog, stupider than a dog. And I told my mom the stuff that the scroll Phoenix said to Chu Wanning, who also was sort of disguised, but like with an illusion as a woman. And my mom looked like she was going to end my life. And she said I would walk away because if I didn't, I'd kill him. Which is the reaction every single time someone meets the scroll version of anything in this thing. It's just unfortunate that Chu Wanning saw the scroll imitating Phoenix's appearance and manners and everything. Because again, the scroll took Phoenix's preferences and personality into creating this new body of themselves. They failed, and Chu Wanning finds out that Phoenix has been lying to him this entire time, where he was like, oh my god, I thought after the whole like Shimei and Moran being despicable motherfuckers that Phoenix was going to be like my one true good student who hasn't done anything to the world, that almost ended in destroying the world. Because yeah, Shimei planned to destroy the world, Moran was used against his will to destroy the world, so it was, Phoenix was your only good student until that happened. So unfortunately he failed to capture the scroll, and I think he's pissed off, and he got turned into a cat. Which for Moran was, you know, it's funny that it took 11 books to finally get the white cat situation in here. Moran loves cats though, so it works, except Chu Wanning is still very pissy and runs away from both Phoenix and Moran. So at long last, Phoenix is like, fine, I will do it, seeing as everyone else failed at doing this job. I'll go capture the scroll. I know myself, all right? It should be fine. Even though he knew that he was lying to his teacher and setting him up for failure. He puts on a disguise, messages the scroll, be like, hey, meet up, blah, 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 blah. And he sees himself and he's already like, I hate this so much. The thing is, one of the twins, actually the night before, pulled him aside and says, hey, Phoenix, your personality sucks. The scroll is not going to stay 10 minutes with you. Your personality sucks. So he pulls him aside. I'm pretty sure the author is trying to imply something between Phoenix and the twins, although it's never going to happen. So the older twin spends most of the night training Phoenix to somewhat be a kiss up. Because he's like, personally, you like people complimenting you. You enjoy people saying you're the greatest, you're the smartest, you're the prettiest, whatever, right? You enjoy that. So you need to learn to bite your tongue and suck up to somebody else who's clearly just yourself. Phoenix begrudgingly takes the lessons and, you know, starts to somewhat stall the scroll because they need 10 minutes for whatever incent they put in to like work to knock him out so that he doesn't self-destruct and spread everyone's secrets to the entire cultivating world. Eventually, Phoenix gets pissed off at the scroll as well because he's like, this mother is making me look terrible. I can't believe I owe so many women so many apologies. I was like, yeah, it's fine. You're never gonna get married because your personality is shite. So he starts to attack and like everyone, because like it is a sting operation, okay? And they're like, oh my god, stop! You're going to destroy everything. During this entire fight, he's like, and like his disguise pouch illusion falls off. Okay, once it's revealed that it's Phoenix, the scroll stops running, stops trying to save himself, and is like, I found my true love. Phoenix is so narcissistic that he can only fall in love with himself. Phoenix is just like, what? It's like, yeah, the scroll just stops running and fighting and like clings on to Phoenix. And I think the twins start to laugh. They're like, oh my god, this entire time we were giving him the prettiest women and men disguised as women to trick him to not leave. And all we had to do was just send him Phoenix. The sect leader of the Taobao estate shrinks down the scroll and makes it in a little miniature figurine and gives it to Phoenix. And the little figurine consistently just says, Phoenix is the best, Phoenix is great, Phoenix is the world's best fighter, and everything. It compliments him constantly. And Phoenix is hesitant. He's like, this thing is annoying me, but at the same time, deep down inside me, I enjoy the compliment, so I'm just gonna keep this little thing with me. So he denies that he's narcissistic, but he enjoys the compliment and the attention that the little figurine gives him. So yeah, our boy Phoenix, never gonna get married. It's fine, he adopts an orphan later, so it's all good. The next very short part of the story is basically Reddit. It's about Phoenix's losing candies that turn you into an animal. This whole book is full of animals. Phoenix has a throwaway account. His username being Phoenix Cry. No one figured that out. I'll never know. Moran also has a Reddit account, and his username, two dog, two handle, because, you know, there's two souls working in that body of his. Honestly, Jiangxi's username, his throwaway account, because this boy has a throwaway account, it fits. Like, I figured his fucking username out, that it was him. 99 problems, but money ain't one. Literally, that is what it says. This book has so many references. There's a Pokemon reference later on in this book. Okay, a Pokemon reference from the Emperor. Oh, Jiangxi also is just like controlling everyone's like the moderators and stuff like that by paying them off because Phoenix is like weird, like worried and stuff like that, which is also really weird because they have such a weird relationship. This is why people think that they're dating, and it's weird. Chu Wanning's username on Reddit is also just fitting. So fitting. 100 of the same white robes. It's a random story. It's very short. Not a lot. And, you know, they eventually find the candies. So, and then they delete the thread. The last story on here, honestly, is probably my favorite because it actually has something to do with Chu Wanning and Moran. And the Emperor and Moran, for whatever reason, this is mostly the Emperor, fight for Chu Wanning's attention constantly because Moran's over here being like, we're the same person. Because technically you guys are. You're all just sharing the same body. Just every 4th day, the Emperor has full control. And the Emperor's like, we are not insane. We are different. And it's like, yeah, well, blame the king that put you guys together. It is getting close to Chu Wanning's birthday, and Moran calculated, okay, the day of Chu Wanning's birthday, I get full control of the body, so I can make it better. Because last year, the Emperor was in charge of his birthday, and it was gaudy and terrible. And I think the Emperor might have drugged Chu Wanning and had his way with him the night before. Okay, like it's just a mess. He still does that. He's learning, and Chu Wanning puts him on a leash. But Chu Wanning is exactly where he wants to be. All right, he's right where he wants to be. Also, Chu Wanning and Moran adopted a little dog, and Moran hates the dog. Surprisingly, Moran always just wanted a cat. But Chu Wanning's little pure-hearted soul was like, this dog was literally starving and dying, and she was like 5 months old, and he would never leave someone who needs help behind. So they got a dog, which Moran doesn't like. Ironically, the Emperor loves the dog. It's funny to me. Also, Moran and the Emperor can communicate with the dog. Like, in the text, it says bark, 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 but like on the side, it's the translation of what the dog is saying, and they are legit having a conversation back and forth. Chu Wanning is like, I don't know how he understands that dog, but okay. So Moran is trying to figure out what to do for the birthday. He tries to secretly kind of ask Chu Wanning if he wants anything for his birthday, but Chu Wanning's all about, if you have any extra money, why don't you just go donate it, give it away? We don't need it. Because remember, he was raised by a monk, terrible monk, but a monk nonetheless. So he's not all about possessions and stuff. He's like, our house is fine. We don't have enough room. The dog is like literally like taking up most of the space. We're fine. We don't need any more. I don't want you to build the house to be bigger because our neighbors, I'm like, what neighbors? You're on the mountain by yourself. They're like, whatever. So Moran is like confused, like what he should do, because he knows Chu Wanning just wants something simple, doesn't cost him money, doesn't disturb the neighbors and all that stuff. He even goes to Phoenix to ask for like advices on presents. Here's the thing. Not a lot of people know Chu Wanning's birthday, and Chu Wanning doesn't like to disclose when his birthday is. So when Phoenix is talking to Moran about like getting someone a present, Phoenix, because his birthday is a few weeks after Chu Wanning's, is like, oh my God, he wants to get me a present. So he's trying to leave hints for stuff that he wants, but like, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. And like, they have a miscommunication where Moran's like, no, money's not an object. I want to get this person the best present ever. And Phoenix is like, oh my God, Gug, I should be nicer to you. I can't believe this. So also, I want to point out that everyone pretty much knows that Moran and the Emperor are living in the same body. Because from volume 10, I thought nobody knew that they swapped body, but no, from everyone's reactions later on, it's clear that the cultivation world knows that two souls are living in one body. So later in the night, when they're trying to sleep, well, Chu Wanning and the dog are sleeping just fine. Moran is just laying awake in bed. It's like, what can I get Chu Wanning? I want him to have a really good birthday, but I also want to keep it a secret because I know for a fact that the Emperor is going to try to ruin it. He hears something outside. He goes to check it out, and it sees a rice cake spirit. And they're here to help him with the presents because they really admire Chu Wanning. So they give him a dreams come true box. And he's like, what is this? Like the box talks to him and says like, hey, so I'm here to help you plan the best present ever. You can set a password so not anyone can just like open the box and just get sucked in. And it's like, okay, I need something. And he tries to give like a really simple password, and the box is like, no, I need you to give a password that you won't actually say on accident. And he's like, all right, gold is a fool's idea of a present, which is what the Emperor gave Chu Wanning for his birthday last year. So in a sense, he is throwing kind of shade at the Emperor because he knows Chu Wanning does not want gold or anything expensive because that's just not how he is. He gets in the world, and he meets another rice cake spirit who is like a gluttonous. He has a lisp. Honestly, just trying to read what he's trying to say was giving me a headache, being like, bro, what are you saying? At some point, it almost looked like gibberish, but like, whatever. He was like, hey, if you trade me stuff, I will give you stuff to make this place whatever you want it to be. So Moran just runs with it. He takes off his shirt and be like, here, what can I get for this? He gets like nice little, simple, a house, some plants, flowers. It's very simplistic, but gorgeous, fae-inspired Menno, because the rice cake spirit is a fae. Again, fae in these books are totally different from the fae that I've learned to read about, but like whatever. For like the next, I think he has the body for like 2 days, and then the Emperor gets the body for 1 day, just right before Chu Wanning's birthday, which is when Moran takes the body back. So he works hard for those 2 days. He tries to find a bunch of stuff that he can just trade. He tries to take a bowl that is made out of jade away from the dog, because he originally got it for a cat, and the dog and him were fighting it over, and the dog was calling him a thief. And Chu Wanning, oh, that sweet baby, he was like, if you're that hungry, I can make you food. I was like, why do you think he's trying to steal the dog's food, bro? But it was so cute and adorable. So he didn't get the jade because the dog bit him. That's why he hates dog. There is a lot of jokes about eating cats and dogs in this book, and I'm just like, would the author actually put that in there, or is this a translation thing? Because I feel like people from China would not like to reiterate the stereotype that they ate cats and dogs. I'm just saying, that seems a little weird to me. He works hard. He makes a really nice meadow. There's like little fays and stuff. It's very pretty, but also very simplistic. The emperor takes over the body and feels like, I feel like the other one has come up with a plan. And I need to find out what it is. Because he secretly wants to destroy it because he can't think of anything to give to Chu Wanning either. So he goes to the dog and asks the dog, hey, what did my other self get Chu Wanning for his birthday? I know you know he had something. The dog snitches and finds the box and everything. He remembers the password. He's also pissed off at the password, but like, it's whatever at this point. So he goes in and sees everything. And he is pissed because he knows Chu Wanning, in fact, would love this place. It's perfect. He's like, fuck, I need to outshine Moran. So he finds the rice cake spirit, who also notices that this is definitely not Moran and this is actually the emperor. And he's like, oh shit, I'm going to die. And he starts telling him stuff. He's like, hey, how do I like get better shit than whatever this stuff is? And then the Fae gives out like, well, you could trade me for things. And like, this is just a list of the things. Here are the SSR items. Yes, this is basically a gacha game. And the emperor's like, what is an SSR? It's like super, super rare. And these are just human beings that you can trade for like clouds that rain petals. And we don't keep the humans. Once the humans leave the box, then the trade is over and like everything goes back to normal. So he's like, okay. So he takes the list and goes off. Note that when he leaves for the day, Chu Wanning's a little upset because the emperor just like straight up leaves, which is weird because he's like, you don't want to spend time with me? And then he says the one thing that Moran has never said. I'll be home late. Don't wait up. Now that just shocks Chu Wanning. He's like, what? Don't wait up. Since they've been living together for like the last 2 years. He's very shocked by this. So the emperor throughout the days goes to find these SSRs and essentially captures them like Pokemon. He literally at one point threw the box at Yangchun, because he's one of the SSR. One dream box, I choose you, and stuff like that. It's so stupid. I was like, why is there a Pokemon reference in this book? But it's there. So he chains up Yangchun and then like throws him in the box because like it works once he touches his head to the box. For some reason, you're supposed to say the password, but like they just forego the password. He runs into one of the twins, the flirtatious twin. And at first, the flirtatious twin thought that I was actually Moran. And then he notices the difference. He's like, oh shit, that's the emperor. I would not have said hello if I knew that was you. And as he tries to, the emperor captures him. And then he goes to Shizun Peak. And then he captures like 2 of the elders and Phoenix, because Phoenix is also on the list of SSRs. And he didn't actually capture Phoenix. He thought Phoenix was so stupid that he could just walk into the box, and he did. Because Phoenix thinks this is his present. So he's like, okay, I'm going in now. He just walks into the box. The emperor's like, that was way too easy, but I got other things to do. Once Phoenix gets in there and sees the twin and Yangchun is still hogtied as a chain, he thinks that the twin has something to do with this. And the twin's like, I am trying to help him, okay? He refuses to allow me to help him because he's so, like, I'm better than everyone else. And, like, I'm not the one chained up, bro. I'm trying to help you. He's also still running like a fever and he's sick. So that's the only reason that Yangchun was actually being able to be captured by Moran. The 5 of them eventually all get captured in the box and then get strung up like scarecrows so that they don't fuck up the hard work that the emperor did. Now fast forward to this part where this is how I knew that Chu Wanning is exactly where he wants to be, because our boy can't sleep at night. He can't sleep at night by himself because he sometimes wakes up having nightmares and not remembering when in time or what dimension he's in. So on page 355, this is during the time that Chu Wanning unfortunately tries to go to sleep after waiting up for Moran to come back, but it's now like dark and the dog is trying to get him to go to bed. So he's in his bed and he's trying to sleep, but this is what's literally going through his mind. Every time he had this dream, he jolted awake from agony that tore his heart. Every time he could hardly tell when he was. He leaned over and made sure the man sleeping beside him was breathing, that his heart was still beating. Only by assuring himself of this again and again did the pain gradually recede. He could only sleep as long as he hears Moran or the emperor's heartbeat. And both versions know about this. So on page 357, from that day on, no matter which Moran's personalities was in charge, he held Chu Wanning as they went to sleep. Every night before bed, he said, I love you always and forever, which if anyone knows, those were literally the last words Moran said before he died in Chu Wanning's arms. So, little scarring, but Chu Wanning always just feels more safe and secure knowing that Moran is alive, because again, he watched him die so many times and it's scarring as hell. Chu Wanning does fall asleep at one point. That's why he's having like this kind of like nightmare situation. But then he wakes up just right before midnight, like right before. And he notices that he's in someone's arms. And then he sees it's the emperor. The emperor is home and he's holding him because he could tell that Chu Wanning was crying in his sleep. And he doesn't like that. He's holding him. He's calling him Wanning. And he's saying, I love you. And happy birthday. And midnight hits, personality switch automatically. And then it's Moran. And he's also like, happy birthday, Shizun. I have a present for you. He just automatically just lets it out. Because he wasn't expecting Chu Wanning to be awake at this hour, and he can't really remember what the emperor did, but like he just wants everything to be fine. So he tries to go find his box where he buried it, but the box isn't there. And he's like, what, the emperor got a hand of this? I need to see the damage he did, but I already told Chu Wanning that I have a present for him, so I can't just not let him go see the present. So I'm gonna have to take him with me and hope that the emperor didn't do shit. So they find the box, they go in, and of course, Moran is flabbergasted because his very simplistic, beautiful meadow with flowers in a pond and a simple house got turned into gaudy gold decorations and like more flowers, expensive looking things everywhere. And he's like, what happened? And then he sees the 5 scarecrows and he's like, oh my God. So he goes to untie them and like let them go. And Chu Wanning's like, what are you doing? How is this my present? And they're like, oh God. And you know, Jiangxin's like, you owe me 99 million gold leaves because I missed an appointment because of you for kidnapping me. Because they were there for like actually like 2 days at most. And he did miss his appointment. So Moran is trying to beg for forgiveness from everybody because like he actually has decent relationships with all these people, but like the emperor doesn't. And he's trying to like say, please don't do this. And then Chu Wanning says, I will pay you back. And Moran's like, our teacher has no money. You can't do that. So he says the one thing that Chu Wanning doesn't want anyone to know. He's like, please don't do this to him. It's his birthday. And everyone freezes. They're like, even Phoenix stopped scolding Moran. He's like, what? Because even Phoenix didn't know when Chu Wanning's birthday was. So he's like nervous as fuck. And because Phoenix looks really scared and nervous, Jiangxin doesn't want his son to actually feel somewhat humiliated. And also it is Chu Wanning's birthday. So he's like, I don't really want to do this shit. I'm fucking angry and tired and just annoyed. Fine. Forget the money. Forget the money. Bygones be bygones. And everyone's like, you know what? Since it is Chu Wanning's birthday, let's just not, you know, do anything. Maybe he wanted us to have like a birthday celebration for Chu Wanning because Chu Wanning stopped getting reminded of when his birthday was from the monk right before, I guess, the age of 12 or 10. Because like when he was really young, he would get reminded when his birthday was. But like as he grew up older and the monk was gonna like, I'm gonna sacrifice you, I can't get attached to you, he stopped celebrating his birthday. So at one point, just Chu Wanning doesn't give a fuck about his birthday. He doesn't even really care and stuff like that. So this was technically his first birthday party ever in both timelines. So it's very exciting and also kind of nervous. So like they decide to like, let's just have a feast and stuff like that. So Moran is in the kitchen cooking and like Chu Wanning and like some of the others are collecting fruits and stuff. Jiangxin is just walking around trying to distance himself and calm down because again, he needs his medicine. It's been 2 days. Chu Wanning goes into the kitchen and, you know, just check on Moran and probably get some like hors d'oeuvres kind of thing, like give him some snacks because it's gonna take a while for Moran to cook a feast, a thing. Moran remembers that the emperor did cook something because both Morans know how to cook. Chu Wanning finds the food and he's like, oh, what's this? And he's like, oh yeah, that's like the duck that he had marinating in the salt and stuff like that. So it's like really soft because he made this recipe that one time when it was like really hot and you didn't eat and he got worried. So he made that so you can actually stomach it. And like Chu Wanning feels like, oh, like the emperor feels like Chu Wanning doesn't give him and Moran the equal amount of attention and gets really jealous very easily. But Chu Wanning sees them sort of as the same person as well. So he loves both of them. You know, he sees like the emperor made food and like he made sauce and stuff like that, and like Chu Wanning was like, oh my God, this is like really good, this is delicious. Again, whenever Moran cooks, it's going to be good because he's a fantastic cook. I literally mean this because once the food and spread and everything's ready, no one says no to the food solely because they've never had Moran's cooking, because Moran only reserves his cooking skills for Chu Wanning. So this is the first time any of them are gonna taste it, including Phoenix, stuff like that. So Jiangxin is all like, holy, so I've had expensive food, blah 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 blah. When he tastes Moran food, he's like, oh my God, this is amazing. I need to make him a chef at our sect because this is good. I'll pay him so well. But then he sees how Chu Wanning and Moran are like kind of like secretly like holding hands and smiling at each other, you know, because like he made this for him because he loves him. And Jiangxin probably says the one thing that annoys the fuck out of me, and I know this is why Phoenix is never gonna get married because he has DNA from this man. So on page 370, all right, Jiangxin resolved. He needed to invent a drug that could pull love out of a person's heart by the roots. Love was a debilitating disease. See how such a promising culinary talent prospect were dashed. Just like that. He was so upset that he couldn't get Moran to be a chef because he was in love with Chu Wanning. Because he knew that Moran would never leave Chu Wanning. And he was like, damn it. I guess I'll just eat my fill here because I'll never have this food ever again. Because yeah, Moran's never going to cook for them again. Unless he invites them for another birthday party, which I doubt it. Jiangxin is hopeless. Like, fuck you, dude. That was Chu Wanning's birthday, and it was very cute. It was very sweet. In a way, both the emperor and Moran kind of teamed up to make a really nice birthday. And of course, everyone kind of wished Chu Wanning happy birthday and stuff like that. And of course, Moran went last because Phoenix really demanded to go first. Like, literally. So this is like the last line for this. This is Moran's, by the way. I once forsook your heart until the twilight of our years. For the rest of my life, I promise you endless days of peace. He just wants to spend the rest of their life together, making sure that Chu Wanning is always well taken care of and loved, because he feels like Chu Wanning deserves it after 2 lifetimes of bullshittery. I am gonna miss these characters. I absolutely, when I look back at my first opinion on Moran and stuff like that, and like how these two ended up together, now I can't see them apart. Like they just fit with each other because they're both fucking weird. They both kind of are similar in a way, seeing as Moran, his signs of affection is just like to show and care and stuff like that. And even Chu Wanning's like, I feel really bad because you had so much love, but you were burdened with not having a family and stuff like that. And like you had a hard life. And then there was points and times where I just didn't help you with that. And then Shimei kind of fucked you over. So at this point, the both of them are like kind of equal when it comes to having just peace. So, I mean, at one point, remember I said, I think the only time they would ever get rest is by them dying. But it's nice to know that the author actually gave them a happy ending. I'm still pissed at people telling me that it wasn't going to be a happy ending, because this is strictly a happy ending. I'm just glad that they're happy together, because they deserved it after the bullshit that they went through. Okay? Especially at the end with the gods. Like, dude, what the fuck? They try to save the world. Y'all. It's time to say goodbye to these characters. I'm gonna miss them. I am. But hey, we move on. So until next time, bye.